Blake Lively might have just destroyed her own case, and she didn't even realize it. A resurfaced interview from years ago, long before she ever worked with Justin Baldoni, is now going viral. And get this, it exposes the exact kind of behavior she's being accused of today. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because while Blake may have expected a clean legal win, what she got instead was an avalanche of backlash, a fired up opponent with a $400 million lawsuit, and a lawyer who dropped her like a hot potato. Now the media's turning on her, her allies are fleeing, and behind the scenes, it's chaos. Let's break down how the Queen of Hollywood's cool composure cracked, and how Justin Baldoni might be on the verge of pulling off one of the biggest comebacks in recent entertainment history. It all started when Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, her former collaborator on It Ends With Us. Almost immediately, a New York Times article dropped, echoing Blake's claims and framing Justin as a manipulative force behind the scenes. The article even carried the chilling headline, "We Can Bury Anyone." Sounded like a smoking gun, except the timing was too perfect. The lawsuit had just been filed, yet the article read like it had been in the works for weeks. It was polished, sourced, and strangely one-sided. That's when whispers started flying. Was Blake feeding the media before the suit even hit the court? But the real shocker wasn't the press. It was what happened inside Blake's own camp. Meryl Conant Goldsky, Blake's lawyer, abruptly pulled out of the case. Why? Rumor has it she got her hands on the evidence Justin's legal team was about to drop, and instantly knew this wasn't a battle she wanted to fight. Allegedly, Blake hadn't just misled the public. She may have misled her own lawyer. Reports claim she left out key details, bent the truth, and even redacted messages that painted her in a bad light. But it gets worse. Behind the scenes, Blake was allegedly condescending to her attorney, questioning her skills, refusing to pay on time, and micromanaging every move. Imagine trying to defend someone in court only to find out they've been lying to you too. No wonder her lawyer bailed. As Blake's legal drama heated up, so did the internet's interest in her past. And it's not pretty. Old interviews began resurfacing that paint a picture very different from the carefully curated America's sweetheart image. In one clip, Blake was asked how she'd like fans to approach her if they related to the sensitive themes in It Ends With Us, topics like DV and SA. Her response? Sarcastically suggesting fans could location share with her or give their social security numbers. Even her co-star looked visibly uncomfortable. Then there's the now infamous Gossip Girl press tour footage. Blake jokingly called her co-stars monkeys and made fun of Leighton Meester's background, specifically referencing that she was born in prison. Leighton had spoken publicly about her past with strength and vulnerability, yet Blake turned it into a punchline. Over and over. It stopped sounding like edgy humor and started looking like a pattern. Sources say Blake's behind-the-scenes behavior on It Ends With Us was no better. She allegedly tried to take creative control of the film, rewriting scenes, pushing cast changes, and even demanding input on the direction. Sometimes without Justin's knowledge, the set reportedly turned toxic, with Blake expecting cast members to pick sides during creative disputes. And of course, she expected them to pick her side. At that point, the project didn't feel like a collaboration. It felt like a takeover. And this isn't the first time insiders have described Blake as domineering when things don't go her way. But instead of addressing the issues behind closed doors, Blake launched a legal attack, and that's when the real chaos began. Within hours of Blake filing her lawsuit, the New York Times released an in-depth piece that not only framed Justin as the villain, but laid out the lawsuit's details like they'd had access to it for days. Justin's team noticed. His lawyers now claim Blake and the Times were working together behind the scenes to shape the narrative. In his legal filing, Justin accused the Times of crossing ethical boundaries, acting not as reporters, but as enablers. Worse, the article didn't give Justin, his partner Steve Sarowitz, or their company Wayfarer Studios a chance to comment before publishing. The court of public opinion was being manipulated, and Justin decided to fight back. Justin's response? A $400 million lawsuit against Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times. But this wasn't about money, it was personal. Justin's attorney, Brian Friedman, said the damage to Justin's mental health, family life, and career couldn't just be brushed off. This wasn't a bad headline, it was an all-out assault on his livelihood. And for Justin, settling wasn't even on the table. He started releasing evidence, videos, texts, internal communications that chipped away at Blake's claims. Every document made it harder to believe her version of events. And behind closed doors, Blake's team was scrambling. They allegedly began quietly reaching out to Justin's side to explore a possible settlement, but it was already too late. As the fire grew hotter, Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, filed a motion to be removed from the case. His stance? He had nothing to do with it, but Justin's lawyer wasn't buying it. In a scathing public statement, Friedman accused Ryan of being deeply involved in the smear campaign, from using his influence in Hollywood to pressuring talent agencies to drop Justin to allegedly coordinating behind the scenes. Friedman says Ryan's hands are all over it. He didn't hold back either. After lighting the match, Ryan Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. Ouch. So where does that leave us? Blake's lawsuit is crumbling. Her lawyer walked out. The media campaign backfired. Her past behavior is now public knowledge, and her biggest ally, her husband, is trying to flee the scene. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is standing firm, backed by evidence, legal firepower, and growing public support. This isn't just a Hollywood feud. It's a war over truth, power, and who gets to control the narrative. And as the smoke clears, one thing is certain. Blake Lively's image may never recover from this. And Justin Baldoni? He might be writing the final chapter of a comeback no one saw coming. What do you think? Is Blake's empire collapsing for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out our next video, where we break down how this battle could shake the future of celebrity media control in Hollywood.